Hi, how's it going? This is Rez of Collinwood for YouTube. I'm here to watch, react to Dark Shadows episode 36. I'm watching it. I love this shot here by Leela. You see Alexander sitting there like this, and she looks across the drawing room. That's where she's sitting. David Hennessy's up on the banister. There's a knock on the door. Hide. Actually, no, there's not a knock on the door. It's just, oh, Liz is coming through the kitchen. That's right. That did sound like a knock, though. She knocked, so he knew she was coming, like a cue. Joan Elizabeth is walking into the drawing room. I love how Victoria is just standing there in the corner. She's not. She was sitting down, which that's interesting. You could tell she was sitting down, or at least it looked like she was sitting down. Here she's standing. She's walking to Liz, Victoria, Mrs. Stoddard. She asks what Liz asks what she's doing. So I'll be pausing and whatever. Liz asked Victoria, "What are you doing?" She is. I was just standing there. She said. Victoria said to Liz, and Elizabeth says to her, "I thought you went into town." And Victoria Winters says, "I did. I came back." So they're about to have if memory serves, they're about to have a conversation about David. It's going to be because of David. Liz, there's a lot to think about. I love how David Hennessy's just creeping down the stairs. I like that too. The lines that were just uttered. You had Joan Bennett and Elizabeth say, "You think I ought to send him away?" And Victoria says, "He's your nephew. I can't tell you what to do with him." That is so good because it's like you can tell Vicky is thinking from a professional standpoint of her job. You know, if this were a woman who had vindictiveness in her heart, here she could simply just bury Dave and say, "Yeah, I think you ought to send him away." But no, she doesn't. I like that character trait a lot, even though she does realize in this episode her life is in danger. Here, yeah, she brought her all the way from New York. Kind, manageable at best. She has been decent to her, I guess. So Liz tells, um, or no, Victoria tells Liz she's gonna leave. She's gonna go back. I have no choice but to go back home because of that young man, David Collins. And here's the intro. Yeah, this episode's directed by who? Leela Swift. No shock. No shock. There's a reason Leela Swift is my favorite director. It's her camera work. Criminally underrated, my friends. As I'm talking over the intro, though I don't think you can hear it, but I'm watching. I'm watching and reacting. So, what's that in the background? I know the window. It looks like something's there, other than the window, other than the set. So Victoria Winters tells her, "I thought things would straighten out, but they haven't." And Liz says, "Because things aren't easy, and little in life is." Like people, Victoria quotes David Collins, "I'll be sorry you ever came here." She tells Liz that's what David said to her. And David Hennessy's just standing there. He's listening to all this. He's like got this little look like, I love Joan's points here. Liz's points. She just she just said you're afraid of him. And Victoria Winters says, I wasn't thinking about fear. And she goes, of course you were. David threatened you. It's like he threatened his father. Then he tampered with the brakes. And what Joan's about to say is, heaven knows I am. Yep, here we go. There you go. I like how Victoria's like, you, like, shocked. I think I think Victoria wonders is Liz playing with her, but I don't think Liz is here. Liz asked her to sit down. This house is strange. This house is strange. Out of Liz's own mouth. Episode 36. This house is strange. Wonder what she means by that. God. So Liz just told Victoria, I don't think of you as a stranger anymore. But yet you're going to keep secrets from her and keep stuff from her about her and her past. I like that. See, this is my issue where fans have said Victoria Winters' character, all she said was, I don't understand. Well, here in this episode, I just heard out of Alexander's character's mouth, um, I'm not running from the fear of it. I'm not running from the threat. I'm running from what's behind the threat, the action of it, And she knows what David already did. She's wanting to run to go back home. This isn't a character tact. This isn't what I mean by that is this isn't a character ploy where she's trying to get Liz to admit to something. Though Liz here is still having a conversation with her. I'll play it some more. Sorry. I keep pausing. Listen. Liz, hatred, that's all he knows. I love that. Very good. Yeah. I love how Liz says that one by one, people who should have loved David turn their backs on him. She's meaning more specifically Roger. I love Liz's line, but in my opinion, before you gotta, if you play devil's advocate a bit, that we haven't met Lori yet. I know what we're gonna get, but she's questioning about her past in a sense. So Victoria gets a slight confession out of Liz. She tells Liz, anybody else would be better for David than me. Why keep me here? And then she goes, I don't think I can answer that. Trying, poking the bear. It's his house. Me. Phone's ringing. There's always a phone. No. It's Patrick McRae. uh, Sam Evans is who it is. Sam's calling, ask for Mr. Collins again. You know when he'll be back. I, I love how he just hangs up the phone here. He wants to just tell him, and he puts a hand over the receiver and click. Good old payphones when there was no caller ID. Don't you miss them days? I somewhat do. And he was phoning from the hotel phone because he walked into the dining room where his daughter works, where Maggie works. Sam's rubbing his head. So you gonna look up and see Roger Collins, the man he was trying to get a hold of. Roger, where are you? Why are you? So Roger tells him, whatever you had to say better be convincing. Roger still got that bandage on his head. And Lewis Edmonds, Roger Collins is sitting right across from Sam Evans. So they're sitting at the same table. Strange bet. Strange bedfellow is really, because you have a man who can't stand Sam Evans, and Sam Evans can't stand Roger. It's good stuff. It really is. It really, really is. I love how, because I'm watching this on TV. The commercials are all food. Well, one of them is. One of them is. I don't care about Jimmy Jones. I don't care. I don't. I don't give a shit. There's Lewis Edmonds. He asked who answered. He said, Sam Evans said, you're supposed to, your sister, I suppose. And Sam Evans goes, you think I'm a fool? And Roger said, yes, I am. So,
Hey, I have a question.
Sam Evans, your sister couldn't recognize my voice. She said it was more than eight. He said it was more than 18 years ago when he last talked to her. Really, that's not true. It's only a couple episodes. Sam is nervous. So Sam is telling Sam what Sam's basically telling Roger is he tried to get out of the portrait of Bert, painting Burke's portrait, um, but Bert just ain't having it because Roger does not want to for Sam to paint Burke's portrait. So he's not sitting alone with Burke, dropping information, etc., etc. He wouldn't listen. Roger's telling him go again. See, right there. So Sam Evan or Roger Collins tells him, "Why do you think Burke wants his portrait done by the likes of you?" So Roger does not even respect Sam as an artist. That tells you a lot, doesn't it? It really does. Like, come on. So Roger Collins, tells him, yeah, if you got drunk enough, I think you'd spill information. Sam told Roger Burke asked if anybody was putting pressure on him, and Roger asked him, "Did you mention my name?" And Sam said, "Yeah, Burke did mention your name." Sure. Uh-oh. I love the close-ups Leela's taken here of David Ford's face and Lewis Edmonds' face. It's really good. She was doing really good close-ups too at the house. The production team just did a great job with the camera work here all together, all around. How they're going, boom, this question, answer. I love. So now we're back at Collinwood. We're back. So to add to that, I know you guys can't hear what they're saying, but Roger says, "I just want you to protect yourself." And Sam Evans says, against you or Burke. And they play the dramatic music, and so we're back in Hollywood. And Liz tells Victoria Winters Carolyn will be able to free now and get married to Joe Haskell. Yeah, she doesn't want to marry Joe. Liz tells Victoria she can bring love and understanding to David. Nothing a good ass kicker would do. No, I'm kidding. I do. I think because look, Roger put the fear of God in that kid. Well, he put the fear of he was going to throw him out the house. Liz is assuring that she can handle David's temper and basically his hatred toward Vicky. She asks Vicky if she'll stay. I love how Victoria turns around. I love how Alexander turns around and looks at him. And she says, all right. And David Collins is not happy. So they've opened the drawing room doors and they're in the foyer. David just disappeared. Well, he's hiding actually. I love how he just steps out and he says, I don't want her to stay. It's like, please, Aunt Elizabeth, please, I don't want her to stay. But if she does stay, I'll kill her. I didn't say that. But he does not like her. She told on him. It wasn't really her fault. David Collins, remember what I said to you. Remember the threat I levied against your life, woman. That's what he's basically saying. So Vicky's going up to her room. I think she's going to leave the house again, if memory serves. Liz is walking into the drawing room to talk to David Collins. Lay the smack down, Liz. Sit down, David. That's not laying the smack down, Liz. Sit down. She's telling David she wants Victoria to say she feels she can help him. Ooh, nice. So here you have Liz telling David, hey, I know you made a threat against her. You're not going to threaten her. You're not going to hurt her. She's here to tutor you. You're going to let her. I love how Liz is finally laying down the law at David. And really, she should have did this to begin with. But I love that character flaw, the fact that it took until this episode to finally lay down the law at David. I mean, look, she's got to deal with another kid named Roger. It's true. David, all she wants to do is get me in trouble. Liz, you don't need no help with that. Liz, you almost got your father killed to David. And she even told him, don't try to deny it. David's still trying to play head games. He goes, you hate me too. And Elizabeth says, no, I don't hate you. Liz tells him you better start caring after David says, I don't care. I love how she's doing this psychology stuff. She tells him hatred, the world's lonely and cold. So, Joan Bennett's character, Elizabeth, tells him, David, there will be no more talk of sending you away. That's all past. I want to talk about the future. Really good. Really, really good. I love how David Hennessy just stands up off the couch, arms folded. He's all Mr. Serious. Elizabeth tells David Collins, I don't want no more problems. David's David's like, what if I don't? And Liz is like, don't make me answer that. He's, I like how he's trying to play the psychology more on her, but Elizabeth really isn't taking it in. She's gonna comfort him though. She's gonna hug his head. David Collins, help me, and Elizabeth, help me. I love how Jen Bennett's character tells him, I'm trying to help you, but you got to help yourself. You know, it's Roger walking into the drawing room. I love how Roger just says, oh, "It's easy," because Liz told David, "I could never stop loving you," and or how could I ever stop loving you because you're my family. And Roger walks in, Lewis Edmonds walks in. It's easy, Liz. Just look at him for what he really is, a potential murderer. To say Lewis Edmonds somewhat steals this episode or this upcoming scene, well, I'll tell you. I love Lewis Edmonds. He's like, it's truly a pleasure, David. He tells him, I promise Aunt Elizabeth I won't do anything more bad. Lewis Edmonds, Roger Collins is like, oh, we're fortunate, aren't we, Liz? We've agreed to forget about the past out of Elizabeth's own mouth. And Roger's gonna remember it. Like, Joe Bennett's Elizabeth says, "Oh, it's time for you to go up to bed, David," and Roger's just like, you heard your aunt, you go up to bed," and David, David Collins, we go up with me, walk me up to my room, and Roger Collins, Lewis Edmonds, oh, don't tell me that the devil's afraid of the shadows he lives. His face is so good. I love this close up that Leela Swift does and how Lewis Edmonds is leaning down toward the camera, but you can really tell he's making eye contact with David Hennessy. It's a great job. Oh my god. That's enough, Roger. I love how David Hennessy. Yeah. Roger tells him, "Sweet dreams, David." David Hennessy looks back, and Roger tells him, "Don't. Just remember, David Collins. David being his son, David Collins. Just, just remember how lucky you are to be a member of our family." Lewis Edmonds, our family, standing by the portrait of Jeremiah. It's too much. And you see Sam Evans drawing a picture on a napkin, and he says he's frustrated. We're back at the hotel now. And who's gonna walk in the door? Who? I ask you. Yep, Vicky did leave. I was right. Vicky came back into town. She's wearing her trench coat, or her jacket, if you will. She's got her purse. She's got money in here. Sam Evans, there's David Ford. Walking back in. He was only in the hotel lobby though. I love how Sam Evans is just you and our private thoughts. So Vicky said she wanted to go to a movie, but it was too late. So that's what she told Liz as I was talking over that. Sam Evans just walks behind the counter like a boss to get coffee. Beautiful, beautiful. That's how I walk in my kitchen, like a boss, until my wife gets some and I tiptoe. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So obviously, this is Alexander's first interaction, not with Sam Evans, but with David Ford as Sam Evans in front of the camera. And I love how Sam Evans is talking to Victoria about Elizabeth, about how she, what kind of woman, how she's been, he says to her about how family is very important to that woman. Sam Evans asked Victoria would Elizabeth help a person in trouble. He doesn't finish the complete sentence because he's going to say, even if the man's going to send her brother to jail, yeah, she'd help you. She'd help you. Go for it. You got to go for the throat sometimes, Sam. Not literally, but you know, you got to channel your inner Michael Myers, or you know, I know this is pre Barnabas, but Barnabas. Oh, Sam Evans says that the feeling of death came close to him, and I love how Roger's drinking the brandy, the tea. Sorry. I love. It's like tell him all. I love how I've said Lewis Edmund steals this episode, and this is what I mean. He's literally going on a rant. His character is literally going on a rant about David. So this isn't quite a receipt at David, but he is just furious that his sister wants to sweep this all under the rug and let it be and like act like nothing happened. And he just tells her, tie him up, throw him out. I don't care. He's just had it. He's like you've run things your way, you always have. He's just got the rant. Really, this is a great sort of somewhat, you know, they keep trying to paint Roger as this paranoid nutcase. They do a good. It's not that they don't do a good job in this episode, but his rant is just so epic. You can't really see him as paranoid, or at least in my opinion, I don't. I just see him. Here's the guy. Because keep in mind, his son tried to kill him. His sister wants to bury that. He keeps having to deal with Sam Evans so Burke doesn't go near him. Now, I do wish in this, and I'm not trying to Monday morning quarterback this episode because it's really good. So I think this is the end. Hold on, I gotta make sure. I don't think there's any more scenes in this episode. And there's Joe. Here's Elizabeth. She walks in. Where's the door? Oh, the door opens, and it's Victoria Winters. I'd like to make a person call. Mr. Ned Coulter. This is the first time we hear about who somebody worked for Liz. We're going to hear more about Ned in other episodes. Think at least a couple more. And there's, yep, that's it. Well, the closing shot is Jones, cup in her hands, standing in the drum, and Vicky's standing at the drawing room entrance looking at Liz. So really, really fun episode to watch and sort of talk about here. I've been talking about how it's hard to see take Lewis Edmonds as a bad guy or like an antagonist because he's so charming. Well, he is. Even in this episode, he's just so charming with that line to David. Like you can't help it. Like be like fascinated with his words, not really paranoid. And even with that rant that he just goes on this rant at his sister. You know, when I watched it for the first time, it didn't come across as somebody who was being paranoid. I mean, he literally had he was almost killed by that same son of his. Now you know why, but still, it doesn't make it right. I just think there's sometimes you have an actor who looks at their part and they're playing the part so charming, and yeah, a bit paranoid. Is there a bit of paranoia in Roger? Yeah, but I never quite saw the paranoia that was going to turn him full faced heel. I never saw that in any of these episodes. When I watched them the first time, and even going back through now, I can't say I see it. I love Lewis Edmonds, great actor, but the way he plays Roger, he's very charming. He's funny more to me than he is because no offense. I mean, look, it's when you're looking at the time, it's the '60s. Here's his sister who's wanting to sweep all these truths under the bus about his own son. And Liz throws some things in his face. You need to be nicer to your son. Not you're not going to threaten him no more. And that's all well and good, but David's already tried to take Roger's life once. What's to stop him? And all you're saying, what's going to stop him is you. Okay. You know, it's just great banter by the two actors. And really, I really enjoyed Lewis Edmonds just full on. Don't tell me the devil's afraid of the shadows he lives in. In this episode, really, really great line. Hope you guys. I just really love going back and watching these episodes and like talking about them with you guys. So, hope you guys have a good night. I might get the other episode up tonight. I might get it up tomorrow. We'll see. You guys have a good night.